Sportsman's Adventures with Captain Rick Murphy, presented by Yamaha.
Whoa! It's either an African or it's a big horse eye. There was a whole school of them swam right up underneath the boat. One of them was laying over on the side, and I looked down there, and the captain was yelling, "Hey, hey, hey!"
On today's Sportsman's Adventures, we head down to Andros Island in the Bahamas for the experience of a lifetime. Today, we will be fishing one of the most remote areas of the Bahamas on the 90-foot mothership called the Sea Hunter. We'll start our adventure by fishing the patch reefs and then head over to the flats to see if we can get a bonefish interested in one of our flies.
Let me tell you something. We're here in the springtime fishing south of Andros on the mothership operation, the Sea Hunter. And the cool part about fishing in a mothership idea or a mothership operation is that you are actually an explorer. You get to go to places that just really aren't accessible by other people. That's the cool part about it. But more importantly, you can take the same techniques, and don't forget this, guys. Remember, when you go fishing and you're exploring, take what you know and go with it. The reason why that's so important is you're not second guessing whether you're doing the right thing or not. I'm fishing the same pattern that I always fish when I go over to Chubb in March. We're fishing a hookup jig head, a 1/2 ounce, with a Trigger X 4-inch gray ghost shrimp, 20-pound Suffolk fluorocarbon leader on 8-pound Suffolk Superior line. And this is the product of it, a little yellowfin grouper. Fishing heads and all these white spots and drop-offs in and around the reefs. That's the key. Find the structure, you're gonna find the predators, because there's always gonna be something in and around that wants to eat this stuff. Guys, it's really that simple. Oh, all the way out here on the sand. Now guys, here's what I'm looking for. When I come out here to do this, what I'm looking for is these patch reefs with lots of sand around them. And the reason why is because the mutton snappers, the lane snappers, the mangrove snappers, they all like the structure, but like this lane snapper here, they love to be in and around the sand. And just like a mutton snapper does. The key, guys, is that you just make sure you pay attention to what's working and what isn't working. And then you'll be able to evaluate when you're doing the right things versus the wrong things. Whoa! Whoa! It's either an African or it's a big horse eye. There was a whole school of them swam right up underneath the boat. One of them was laying over on the side, and I looked down there, and the captain was yelling, "Hey, hey, hey!" Now remember, guys, I can't emphasize how important this is. If you notice, the last 4 or 5 of those guides, they constantly stay straight. The rod tip, guys, is made for casting. So I don't want to see a big bend like this. Once you start bending the rod like this, all you're doing is pulling from the part of the rod that's made for casting. You got to make this rod bend all the way into the cork here. And one good rule of thumb is anytime that you see your rod above the horizon, you need to reel down and reposition the rod like so. Look at my last 4 or 5 guides. They stay straight down the line, and that's using the rod and maximum pressure. I'm making the fulcrum of the rod pull all the way into this back cork. Nice big horse-eye jack. Getting ready to show you why they call him a horse-eye here in a second. I'm gonna step, oh, look at the one following them. They've got the yellow tail, same body shape as a Jack Crevalle. Look at the one following him, look. There's a nice one following him. Now the same thing applies with these guys as a big Jack Crevalle, guys. If you grab them by the tail, look at his buddy. His buddy's trying to eat the jig out of his face. If you grab him by the tail, there's a lot of little parts there that will really get you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bend down here, grab the jig head so that he doesn't get away. And we're gonna talk about why they call these guys a horse-eyed jack. Look at the eyes. Looks just like a horse's eye. Same body shape as a Jack Crevalle like we catch off of Palm Beach and Government Cove and all kinds of places this time of year. As that spring migration starts, the jacks and the sharks are following them. Got the same kind of teeth right here, but let me show you the part that you gotta worry about. If you grab him down here on the tail, see all these little black spots? He's got like a razor shoot straight down on his tail. You can see all those little razors. It's like a serrated edge on a knife. Big Jack Crevalles, any jack this shape, he can really put a hurting on you if you grab him by the tail. So keep that in mind. All right, man, I'm gonna let you go. I know, breathing air is not what you like to do best. All right, here we go. I'll let you go.
Sportsman's Adventures is brought to you by the Florida Keys and Key West. Come as you are. Yeti, wildly stronger. Keep ice longer. Costa Del Mar, see what's out there. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Catch the latest at Rapala.com.
Introducing Helmmaster, Yamaha's first fully integrated digital boat control system. With Helmmaster, you can start your outboards with a swipe of a paw and control them with a single lever. Outboard trim and steering friction adjust automatically as you accelerate and decelerate. Adjust engine speed with the touch of a button. The Helmmaster joystick provides the means to navigate and dock precisely with confidence and ease. Take control of your next vessel with Helmmaster at your command.
For years, they've quietly taken you where the fish are. But now the silence is about to break. With the incredible iPilot Link, your Minn Kota and Humminbird can communicate with each other, so you can hold on a spot like an electronic anchor, record and return to waypoints and paths, follow any depth contour, and more, all automatically and all from your Humminbird or the Link remote. They talk, and you'll be speechless.
It's time to put a new spin on innovation and touch off a revolution. It's time to push boundaries and leave our mark on the world. It's time to say goodbye to excuses, limitations, and half measures. It's time to get it together. New Onyx with Crosstouch. Now, everything you can do with a touchscreen, you can also do with a touchpad. Only from Humminbird.
Continuing the revolution. Faster, drier, even better built. Designed around Yamaha's latest technology outboards. Still built by the same craftsmen and anglers who launched the Bay Boat Revolution. Whether chasing world records, or time on the water with the family, or anything in between, there's a new Pathfinder model for you. Pathfinder, #1 for a reason, still.
Now let's talk a little bit about the rig. As you can tell, we got mono on here, but as we also have a 1/2 ounce hookup jig with a 4.0 black nickel hook and a 4-inch Gray Ghost Trigger X shrimp. Now this is called a Schoolmaster snapper, ivory teeth, just like a Cabera. And I gotta tell you, look at how beautiful that fish is. It's like God sprayed him with 14-karat gold paint. The signature to this fish, so that you know, pretty good to eat as well, is those gold fins. And he has the stripes. They don't get very big. This is actually would be a really good one. I've caught them, I guess, up to about 6 or 7 pounds. They love rocks, they love structure, just like all the snappers, mutton snapper, mangrove. This guy has more of the same characteristics of a mangrove snapper. The lane snapper has more of the characteristics of the mutton, the sand combination. This guy, all about hiding in a rock. You know where else he's gonna hide? We're gonna hide him on the Sea Hunter in a daggum peanut oil. That's where we're gonna put him, right in the peanut oil. I'm gonna hide him in there for you. Now let's talk about the scenario. We were up fishing a lot of the little reefs. And what we did is we moved out a little deeper, but the key is we're fishing what I would consider the drop-off. And what I mean by that is we've got a lot of different layers. The layers are anywhere shallow spots that are up on the bank, and we're basically tumbling the jig and the Trigger X off of the shelf. So we're going from 6 feet and then dropping it and pulling it down to 10 feet, and then on the edge of this channel up to about 20 feet. So we're bouncing the jig, and as we're working the different water columns, guys, we're finding an array of fish. Groupers, snappers, we're getting some triggerfish bites, we're actually catching some margays. So we're fishing sand, we're fishing rocks, and then we're fishing channel edges. And as we drop, we're fishing the stairs. And that's the whole key. Having a jig head like this one, 1/2 ounce, that's capable of reaching the bottom in 20 feet. The key to this fishing, guys, no matter where you are, whether you're in the Keys, whether you're in the Bahamas, it doesn't matter. You have to cover ground until you establish a pattern. Once you establish a pattern, then it's very easy to figure out where to set up. It becomes like driving home every day. Ugh. The key to mono, like I always say, is you gotta get the stretch out. I truly believe that there's still a huge use for mono. Clear water situations, bone fishing, I don't like using the braid. You gotta have some stretch. Look how beautiful this little rock hind is, all the little yellow tips on his fins. Some people call this a strawberry. It's not, it's a rock hind grouper. The strawberries have little blue dots inside of the black spots, and his shape is a little bit different. This guy has the shape of a red grouper, and the strawberry has the shape more like a little gag or a coney grouper. So it gives you an idea, the difference. All right, you can look for that when you catch one.
Sportsman's Adventures is brought to you by Minn Kota, anywhere, anytime. Humminbird, simply, clearly, better. Florida, the fishing capital of the world. La Jolla Resort, a place for families and fishermen. Suffix Lines, the world's most hardcore fishing line.
It's 200 streamlined horsepower of Yamaha forward thinking. The all-new F200 inline 4-stroke. Whether you're an offshore angler, pontoon cruiser, bay boater, or walleye hunter, the responsive and fuel-efficient F200 combines amazing power and versatility in one incredibly compact and lightweight package. The all-new F200. Legendary Yamaha reliability and the freedom of forward thinking.
You know there's more to it than luck. There's fishing the right bait, the water temperature, the wind, the season, and then there's the boat. We'll put it simply, the boat matters. To own a Contender is to own the best sport fishing boat on the market, period. Contender offers the most comprehensive model range with bigger, faster, and more fuel-efficient boats than the competition. There's only one choice for serious anglers. Contender boats. Performance through innovation.
We tried beating it senseless, bending it in half, and punishing it with extreme temps, corrosive salt water, and blistering UV rays. And all Talon did was ask for more. So we wanted to know what Talon's breaking point really was. We'll let you know if we ever find it. Talon, born tough, tested tougher.
Suffolk's 832 is constructed with 7 strands of Dyneema and a single strand of Gore Performance fiber. It's the roundest, longest casting line in the world. It offers superior abrasion resistance so you can fish it anywhere. It's the strongest, most sensitive, and durable small diameter braid ever to hit the water. Nice fish, Brett.
Thanks.
Suffolk's 832. Always use the best line.
It's been said that a bad day of fishing is better than a good day at the office. But down here in the Florida Keys, we have to disagree. Because with over 200 of the world's best charter boat captains and guides, there's no such thing as a bad day of fishing. The Florida Keys and Key West.
Thank you for joining us today on Sportsman's Adventure. And be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter to keep up with all of our adventures, contests, and appearances. You don't even ever have to miss an episode. You can find full episodes of Sportsman's Adventures plus other tips and techniques on our YouTube channel. So head over to our website, sportsmansadventures.com, where you can find all the information you need to stay connected.
Nothing compares to the Sea Hunter experience if you're looking for a Caribbean adventure. Outfitted with the best fishing and water sports equipment in the world and complemented by a knowledgeable and highly skilled crew, the Sea Hunter experience is more than just a charter. It's a one-of-a-kind adventure. Whether you want to bonefish the flats, troll for game fish, snorkel or dive some of the world's greatest reefs, or just walk the beaches that never see a footprint, the Sea Hunter experience is an all-inclusive, family-friendly exploration and discovery adventure in the Caribbean Sea. Mike Riff is captain of the Sea Hunter.
The Sea Hunter is a unique ship. We tow around 3 boats with us, a 36-foot sport fish, 2 17-foot skiffs. And then we have various other toys. We have 2 dive compressors and the capability to have 12 divers in the water at any given time. At any point in time off of this boat, you can pretty much, within a mile and a half of it, you can fish, dive, all world-class locations. Bone fishing is, right here. Today we're sitting right next to a flat that you can catch bonefish on just about any time of day, high or low tide. The family could expect a variety of activities, from walking beaches that have never seen a footprint to excellent food, to any kind of snorkeling, shell hunting, spear fishing, wall diving, sport, you name it. Just about anything your imagination can dream, we can do it here. The cooking is done by myself. I was a chef for several years before becoming a captain, and it works out well for the customers because I get to do all the things I love, cooking and captaining. There's so much to do. I mean, you're out here on the ocean in the middle of nowhere, and anything at any time could happen, and it's just an adventure that the family can share and have memories for a lifetime.
Oh, there's a lot of fish there. Get that rod up high, increase the angle. Because you got to remember that bonefish is going through the bottom, and every time he goes around something, he's trying to cut you off. So the higher you hold the rod, the more the angle, the better the angle, and the percentage of him cutting you off on something as he's rubbing along the bottom is a lot lower. Keep that rod way up high. Now guys, it's really not that hard. No matter whether you're in Mexico, whether you're in the Bahamas, whether you're in the Florida Keys, you just gotta take advantage of what people tell you. Now, whether it's a fly shop in the Florida Keys, whether it's your guide down in Ascension Bay in Mexico, or maybe it's just fishing with a friend. Oh no, he might have rubbed me off. He might have rubbed me off. Oh, see, there's the heartbreak. But that's part of bone fishing. right, it looks like they might be coming back. Might we get another shot for redemption? There it is. That's the whole key, guys. You gotta get the fly, when it's blowing like this, you gotta get the fly in the fish's face. Now I wanna get the rod as high as I can because there's lots of things for me to get hung on. I might already be hung on something. He's over there with his buddies. Look at all his buddies over there, but see how my line's stuck here. So I'm gonna go out deeper to try to get around whatever I'm hung on. Whenever you get hung on something, guys, whether it's a bait cast or a fly rod, whatever it may be, the key is go slack. Remember, if you go slack, the line never breaks if it's not tight. That's the key. I got it off of him. So now we got to see what we got on the other end of this. So it's just so bad that I had to run so far in order to catch a fish. The cool part about fishing a mothership is you're literally parked on top of where they live. That's what makes fishing in one of those operations awesome. Look at him go. Look at him go. Going, buddy, you going out there in the wrong house. If you go out there, there's no telling what could be out there waiting on you. It's been a little while since we've done a fly fishing show with Sportsman's Adventures, but you need to understand sometimes the conditions, you have to fly fish, or maybe it's not good for fly fishing. Certainly when you come and you're bone fishing and it's blowing like this, guess what, guys? If you can make the cast, it's the perfect opportunity because they're not as spooky when you throw a little bitty fly. Wait till you see the size of this fly. Little tiny fly, 25 mile an hour worth of wind, and guess what? You can throw it really close to him and he doesn't know. Hey, bone doggy, look at that. Look at that. Mr. Bone Dog. What a beautiful, beautiful fish. He's got that, look at the size of the fly, guys. This is a 2-pound, 2.5-pound bonefish, and the size of the fly. When it's blowing like this, you can be very aggressive, but you gotta make sure you downsize the fly. It's not gonna make a kerplunk. I threw the fly, it landed maybe 5-6 feet from him, and he ate it. Oh. Come here, buddy. Let me let you go. Put you back in the water and let you go. All right. You know, I said it a million times. The Groucho Marx of Bahamas bonefish, right there. The little mustache. You can see how they blend right in as well. All the little bars, the silver sides, which reflects the sand. That's why they call them the gray ghost of the flats.
Sportsman's Adventures is brought to you by custom trailer manufacturer Ameritrail, VMC, your expert in hooks, Williamson Lures for the pelagic playground, Maverick, fish the legend, and Contender Boats.
Now, you know, guys, here's what you need to understand. Certainly when it's blowing 25, it's a challenge and you have to be a fairly good caster. But let me give you a couple helpful tips. The one thing that I do when it's blowing is I shorten my leader. I go to a 9.5 or 10-foot leader. Oh, and the reason why is because when you have this kind of chop on the water, you can be a lot more aggressive and throw the fly right to the fish. Everybody likes it slick calm, but when it's slick calm, you gotta throw 11 or 12-foot leader. My good friend Tim Mahaffey, 14, 15-foot leaders with a monic fly line, which is a clear mono line. That's what you have to do when it's really, really tough and slick calm. So don't be discouraged because you go and you're down here on the Sea Hunter, south of Andros, in the month of March, and it's blowing 20. Shorten your leader. Try to set yourself up. I saw those fish coming. Myself and the cameraman, we slid a little left. The reason why we did that, was to, one, give me a right-hand shoulder wind so that the fly's not trying to hit me. And when you're waiting, you can create your own shot. Those are a few things that'll really make the difference of catching him or getting frustrated. And guess what? I don't know about you, but catching one of these in real shallow water and watching him eat the fly, that to me is epic. It really is. We all love to see him tailing in slick, calm conditions, but all that does is it takes and makes the pucker factor sometimes off the chain. And when that happens, I don't care who you are and how many you caught, that old thumper, your old heart gets to thumping, and the next thing you know, you're all tangled up in your fly line, you got a big mess. No different than the buck fever that you get when you're sitting in a deer stand. You know, the monster walks out, and guess what? It becomes a problem. This is typical of what we catch in the bonefish in the Bahamas, you know, a little 2.5 pound. Certainly there's the places that have lots of deep water, you know, like Chubb Key and Walker's Key, the west side of Andros, they've got really big fish. The key to it is that they have a lot of deep water nearby. I think if you're fishing places where you got miles and miles and miles of real shallow water, you got to remember these fish are living in that shallow water to stay away from all the sharks. There it is. That's a little gotcha. And guess what? It gotcha. All right, bud. You probably are learning your first lesson in catch and release. Cool beans. Doesn't get any cooler than that. And look how far I am from the mothership. Maybe for Tiger Woods, a driver and a wedge, if you're a golfer.
Great friends and good times on an adventure of a lifetime have made this another great Sportsman's Adventures. Keep up with the latest Sportsman's Adventures news and events by logging into our website at sportsmansadventures.com and following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Coming up next week on Sportsman's Adventures with Captain Rick Murphy.
Come and see me, Daddy. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Oh, the redfish.
I saw that now.
Robbie redfish. Oh. No, it's a snook. Look at that.